Buying real estate with other people's money is extremely simple. It is only 3 steps. I'm going to go over those steps in this video and explain to you how simple it is to buy real estate in today's market without using any of your own money. Now, before I get started, do not get it twisted. Simple and easy are different. It is simple, but it's not easy. Hopefully this video will make it a little bit easier. I will also give you some resources to make it even easier throughout this video and at the end. And in case you're wondering who I am, my name is Sam. I came from the middle class and I bought over $50 million worth of real estate without using a dime of my own money. And I've developed a 3-step method to help you do the same thing. So let's get the ball rolling and go over these 3 steps so that you can understand this better, so that you can get on the path to financial freedom just like I did. So step 1 here is going to be finding a distressed property. Don't worry, I'm going to break down each step in detail. I do apologize ahead of time. My writing's not the best, but I'm going to do my best to make it legible for you. Step 2 is going to be finding a lender with money. None of these steps are very complicated, and honestly, they're not that hard either. And step 3 is going to be utilizing the FasterFreedom framework. So here are the 3 steps, all right? We're gonna come back up here. I'm gonna X them off when we're done with them. So step 1 is finding a distressed property. The reason you're finding a distressed property is because you need to find a house at a discount. If you could go out and find happy, not distressed properties at discounts, I would tell you to go do that, but you can't. In today's market, and when I started and when the future happens, if you want to find a discount off of the market value of the price, you need to find distressed houses that you can buy at that discount, that you can then repair and add extra value so that there is 20, 30% and tens of thousands of dollars worth of equity. It's the key point that makes this all work, where you don't use any of your own money or very little of your own money. And I'm going to explain this whole process in step 3. So finding a distressed property is key. There are 2 ways to do that. There are free options and there are paid options. Again, just to give you confidence in your presenter for this free YouTube video, we buy about 300 houses a year here in one market in St. Louis. About 2/3 of them come for free, meaning we don't spend $1 in marketing to acquire those properties. And about 1/3 of them come from paid marketing. We spend about 75 grand a month on paid marketing to get leads coming to us. I'm going to go over 2 free options that I think you should pursue, and then I'm going to go over 2 paid options that I think you should pursue as well. The first free option that I want to talk about is going to a wholesaler. Now, wholesalers by definition are middlemen or middle women putting 2 parties together and getting a fee for doing that. It's no different in real estate. Wholesalers find these distressed properties, they do the paid advertising, they do their own networking, and they find these properties, and then they offer them up to you, and you buy them and pay them at closing, or you don't buy them and you pass. But either way, it's no skin off your back because you're not paying any money to get that lead. Now, wholesalers can be found very, very easily. They can be found by joining your local real estate investing meetup groups and going and attending those. They can be found by those little 2-foot by 3-foot bandit signs on the side of the road. They can be found by going and actually joining the local Facebook groups and connecting. Those are 3 ways that you can go execute right now to go contact wholesalers to start the process, because most likely that first text message, that first in-person conversation, that first phone call's not going to lead to a property if it was only that easy. What that first touch point will do is lay the groundwork for future conversations and future leads. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you're willing to contact a group of wholesalers over the next few months and continually follow up with them, they will start to send you properties. Now, will all those properties be buys? No, but at least you will start to get real properties sent to your text message inbox and your email inbox that you're able to analyze and put offers on. And that is huge, moving beyond the hypothetical property analyzation to the real property analyzation. You're going to learn a ton and you're going to make a ton of great connections. So wholesalers would be the best option, in my opinion, for you to pursue. Option number 2, real estate agents. That's as neat as I can write. Now the key here is going to be investor-friendly real estate agents. A vast majority of real estate agents don't understand what it is to be a real estate investor and don't understand what a good investment property looks like to bring you. They're either not going to bring you anything, most likely, or they'll bring you properties that are in perfect condition that need new carpet, and they think that that is a deal for an investor. Regardless, the agents that understand investors understand where your value lies and where they don't need to bring you into the equation. So a good real estate agent is going to bring you deals on a silver platter. And I like them personally better than wholesalers because you get direct to seller pricing. When a wholesaler brings you a deal, they're gonna mark it up 10, 15, 20 grand. Doesn't matter to you. You shouldn't care how much money they make. In fact, the more money they make, the more they spend in advertising, the more deals they bring you. However, you have to just be okay with them making money as long as it meets your specific buying criteria and your numbers. However, with real estate agents, there is no middleman, there is no middle woman. It is just them bringing you the house from a seller that they have the relationship with, and the seller pays them on closing and pays their brokerage upon closing. So they can get paid on the buy side and the sell side, meaning they don't need to represent you, so they can get paid twice, run it through their brokerage, but you don't have to pay any fees for them to do that. So you're getting more direct to seller pricing. Now you're gonna have to go through a lot of agents that don't quite understand real estate investing, and that's okay. You can jump in front of the line, take that old Disney pass to get in front of the line, the lightning pass or whatever they call it, by going where investor-friendly real estate agents hang out. Local Facebook groups and local meetups. I'm trying to get you to be efficient here. I'm not trying to send you out to left field to be on your own. I'm trying to send you places where you're gonna get the most bang for your buck and bang for your time. And most real estate investing meetups are free anyway, and of course the Facebook groups are. So get to know a handful of wholesalers and real estate agents, and you will start to get a steady flow of free leads. Now pay is a little bit different. There's 50 ways to pay money to get leads coming your way. I'm going to cover the two simplest ways that I think make the most sense for you as a new real estate investor, or probably not a full-time real estate investor. Maybe you are. Either way, these still work. The first way is driving for dollars. This is driving around and looking for distressed properties. You're looking for properties that need work. This tall grass, boarded up windows, not just a house that's a little bit not well maintained. You're looking for abandoned. You're looking for very, very poorly maintained. Those houses will sell to an investor. Might not be you, and it might not be tomorrow, but they will sell. There's a reason they're in that condition. It takes years to get in that condition, and they're not just going to automatically get turned around. I promise you, the homeowner or seller's brother's not going to swoop in and buy it. That's what they might tell you, but that's not what's going to happen. So driving for dollars is driving around and looking for these properties. Now there are apps, like I have one called Deal Pilot, that has a driving for dollar component to it that can allow you to be efficient and drive around and track where you are and get homeowners information, all of these things to make it easier. But you are going to have to send a letter, send an email, send a text message, or get on the phone and try to contact these owners of these distressed properties. Sometimes they live there, sometimes they don't. Regardless, you're going to have to make that contact. That type of personality is a little bit more of a salesperson type of personality. It may not be something you want to do, and that's fine. You can focus on these first two. All right, option number 2 of the paid resources. Direct mail. Direct mail is kind of like drive for dollars, but the postman or postwoman is driving for dollars for you. You can use software and AI, and again, my Deal Pilot app does it. There should be a link in the description of this video for my Deal Pilot app that does all of this for you. You can utilize AI and get a list of properties that have certain red flags. Well, the red flags, or I guess the green flags, in distressed houses is going to be vacant, high equity, pre-foreclosure, liens on the property, behind in back taxes, a lot of different things. You can take a 10,000 house area and narrow it down to 500 houses that have a lot of red flags on them that will again eventually sell to an investor. Will it be you? Maybe. Will it be tomorrow? Probably not, but they will eventually sell, and you get on their radar by sending them direct mail. Both of these are relatively inexpensive. You can probably do an efficient driving for dollars and skip tracing for, basically free. My app is free skip tracing in it, but let's say less than a couple $100 a month. This, you'll probably have to spend $1,000 or $2 a month on direct mail, but again, one property direct to the seller, you're probably going to hopefully net 20, 30 grand, maybe 50 grand on a flip, and if you wholesale it 10, 20 grand. So you get your money back plus some in just one property. So it just requires consistency. So that is step 1, finding a distressed property. Now let's move on to step 2, where I'm going to talk about how to find a lending source to buy that distressed property, and then we're going to tie it all together with the FasterFreedom framework. So step 2 is going to be find something or some person with money. Let's just get this out of the way. You can't go to a bank. Banks won't lend to you on distressed properties. That's one of the top questions I get. When I explain all of this, they say, why not go directly to the bank? Banks won't lend on distressed properties. They only will lend on occupied properties by you in your personal house or by a tenant that is occupying it and paying you rent. They'll give you loans on those, but they will not give you loans on unoccupied distressed properties. So that means you need to find a short-term funding source to buy and repair the property. And your cash can be one. I'm assuming you don't have several $100,000 just ready to go deploy into real estate. If you do, great. DM me on Instagram, I can fast track you. But if you don't, and you're like 99% of people, what you do is you have to find a private lender or a hard money lender. Let's talk about private lenders first. Private lenders are individual. They're people that you know that are willing to lend you money to invest in real estate. And before you tell me you don't know a private money lender, let me tell you some of the occupations of my private money lenders, and you can ask yourself, do you know people with those occupations or people with similar types of occupations? Engineers, insurance agents, police officers, teachers, firefighters, nurses, and entrepreneurs. Those are the main jobs of my 20 or 25 private lenders that I work with. Again, they're normal individuals, and before you think that of course they lend you money saying because you have 50 million in real estate, a vast majority of them have been with me since day one or since the first couple years of investing. Like probably 50% of them have, because I consistently give them good returns. So private lenders, if you take one thing away from this section, is going to be, you know, private lenders. You know individuals that have money that they can self-direct an IRA and lend it to you. They have a home equity line of credit that they have or can get to lend you money. Maybe they have a money market account, a 401k they can borrow against. We're talking normal types of access to funding that this person has a relationship with you or as an acquaintance, and you've convinced them to give you money so that they can earn a double-digit return backed by real estate, which they're not getting in any other type of investment. There are scripts and presentations and a lot that you can try to look up online. Maybe ChatGPT can help a little bit. I have countless resources inside my community that help people raise funds from private lenders on a very, very regular basis. So that's kind of the first option of this funding to purchase and repair that distressed properties. Option number 2 I just mentioned is going to be hard money lenders. Man, this is like the neatest I've written in years. Hard money lenders. These are people, these are businesses. Hard money lenders are not individuals. Hard money lenders are companies that are in business to lend you money. Private lender's never going to ask for your credit score. A hard money lender will. Private money lender's never going to ask for a down payment. A hard money lender probably will. The private lender is never going to ask how much money you're making or your income. A hard money lender will. Now, this probably is not a shock to you if you're thinking you're going to borrow money from something. You're probably assuming some type of underwriting on you. So hard money lenders shouldn't be a shock to your system. The beautiful thing about them, though, is that gives you an additional set of eyeballs on the deal to make sure you're buying something good, because they're not going to lend you money if it's a bad deal. They have experience and understanding and want their money safe. Hard money lenders you can find just by Googling them. I have one, FasterFreedom Capital. Of course, I'm going to plug them. Check the notes in the description of this video, or just go to FasterFreedomCapital.com. We have the best rates in the country. I can get you under 9% for hard money, which is unheard of. 899 if you're qualified, of course. So check that out. So that was a little bit faster because there's a lot that goes in this, and if I make this an hour and a half video, I promise you're not going to watch the whole thing. So we got step 1, find the distressed property. Step 2 is find the funding, and step 3 is the FasterFreedom framework. FasterFreedom framework. Okay. Now this is going to take step 1, which is the distressed property. I'm going to take step 2, which let's just say private lender for the simplicity of this deal. So you take those two things and you tie them with a grand old method called the BRRRR method. The BRRRR method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and systemize. I've tweaked it several times since we were all probably potentially introduced to the BRRRR method several years ago. This is a little bit of a tweak on that goes a little bit deeper into each step and gives you some scalability options that the BRRRR method simply does not. Hence, the FasterFreedom framework. So let's go over a real life example so I can explain this to you. I rounded the numbers here to make this make sense, but in general, these are very, very similar numbers of deals that we do almost every day. So let's say you can buy a distressed property that maybe a real estate agent brought you for $185,000. That's what it takes to buy it. And it needs about $40,000 worth of are repair. So you need $225,000 to buy and rehab a distressed property. You borrow that entire amount from a private money lender. You pay $185,000 to a title company or real estate lawyer to close, and over the next 95, 120 days, you pay $40,000 to fix it up and get it livable. So you have $225,000 of a private lender's money in the deal, and now that the property is not distressed, he is happy. The next step is to get the property rented. Now this is where you have options. Most people are going to do the long-term 12-month rent, Section 8 or market rent. Either one works. Very similar process. You're just renting it to a different tenant base. You can also do a midterm rental. I have a lot of students doing the midterm rentals right now to really boost their cash flow. And you can even go short-term rentals depending on the area that you're looking to buy. The point is you start to collect cash, which in whatever avenue and whatever tenant base makes most sense for you and that property, because you need to prove that it is a cash producing asset, that it's producing cash that's going to eventually cover the expenses, because you still haven't paid anybody back anything yet. The next step is the refinance step. This is where you can go to a small local bank or DSCR lender and get a loan based on the new value. So this property, we're going to get an 80% loan based on the new value, which this property appraised for, I think, $310,000 or $309,000, but we're going to say $300 for simple math. So this property appraised for $300,000, so I got a $240,000 loan to pay back my private lender. They're $225,000 plus I think about $10,000 in interest. So there's some fluff worked at $5,000 that you can, the difference in that where you can keep it, pocket it, whatever it is. Private lender gave me $225,000, 95 days later, I gave back $235,000, $240,000, whatever the math, you get the point. They're paid off. He's good, he's paid off, he's happy, the house is happy, everybody's good. Now I do owe the bank $240,000 or the DSCR lender $240,000, but I'm paying them that over the next 25 or 30 years at 6.5%. It's enough to cash flow. I'm cash flowing like $250, $260 a month on this, which is great, but where the real power comes in before we get to systemize is here. The property's worth $300,000 today. I owe $240,000, so there's $60,000 in equity in this one property that I bought using none of my own money. It was very simple, but it wasn't that easy, but I promise you can do it. That's today. 15 years from now, this property is going to be worth $600,000 because real estate doubles in value every 15 years. Go look it up. And this mortgage should be paid down probably to $150,000, not quite in half. So this is when it gets exciting. I now, 15 short years later, most people are willing to work for somebody else for 40. I'm just asking for one property in 15 years. You have $450,000 in equity, almost $500,000 in equity on a house that you bought using none of your own money. That was, yes, some work, but so is contributing to your 401k and IRA every month. The average 401k and IRA right now at the age of retirement, which is 65 or supposed to be 65, is like $335,000. So you have more than the average American that's worked for 40 years. You're going to have more than they do in their retirement funds, their IRAs, and their 401ks at the age of retirement in one property you bought using none of your own money. I think you see the power of this. Do it 10 times and then it really starts to be fun. 4.5 million, that's an M. And then to systemize is going to require discipline from you. You create systems around every step as you're doing them and repeating them and going over them and learning and Monday morning quarterbacking them, looking back at seeing what went right, what didn't go right. Create systems. Now the best way, the fastest path to create systems is to get involved with somebody else's systems. So check the description of this video to get my free training that's like 10 or 12 minutes that details some of this and gives you some more resources and gives you the opportunity to talk with my team and advise you on specifically ways that we can help you if we can. That's the best way to create systems faster, is learn somebody else's. Makes sense, right? Let's check this one off the box, or let's check this box off. Boom, boom. And that is how you buy real estate using none of your own money. I promise that you can do this if you stick to it and have the right guidance, and I would love to help you. So make sure to hit that like button if you have not and still watching. Goodness, I hope you got some value, and subscribe to this channel if you're not, and follow me across all social media platforms, including my podcast, The FasterFreedom Show. See you on the next one.